I'm gonna pick up a rope. What do you say, Lucky? Put your head in there. There you go. You know, Abraham Lincoln said the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man. And so I agree with it 100%.
34-13.
Wait a minute.
Well, wait a minute, 21 and 13. It's just a desire to be a rancher or to be a cowboy. You just love it, and it's just inside you.
It's just a good way of life, and it's been said it's a good life but a poor living, but it's something that I enjoy.
And this place right here was at one time last house between here and New Mexico. When you're brought up in it, why that's really all you know.
Nice, nice. Woo! That's right. Just the tradition, you know, the camaraderie, the men, the horses, the way we handle the cattle has stayed pretty well the same. We're like a family. We all are just like a family, and we all do all this together, and there's not anybody that's any better than anybody else. We just all get out here, pitch in, and do it.
I like horses, and I like working cattle with horses, and I think when I first started helping people by the day, I was probably getting about $10 a day, and it's always been tough. That's the nature of the business, and that's why I admire ranchers and cowboys, and because they can take a licking and keep ticking.
I've never wanted to do nothing but punch cows. I was raised on a ranch in the Texas Panhandle, and it was a real old-time cow outfit. And then when I was 16, I left school and went to work for the JAs, and that was the old Goodnight estate in the Palo Canyon. And at that time, they had a chuck wagon that pulled with 4 big horses and a hood wagon with 2 horses and 12 or 14 men, and you cooked and ate and slept and stayed there for 6 or 8 weeks at a time.
This was the kitchen and everything else. And they had cowboys stayed out in that bunkhouse, but they fed them in here. It was a very much simpler life. When you're raised in it, you like the idea of having something of your own that you can either make a success out of or go busted. And a lot of us have gone busted once or twice due to the depressions and things like that.
You want a horse that's got a good little thin neck right up under where his ears are. I like for a little thin throat latch with a little kind of foxy looking ears. You know, it's a long ways to anything. It's 60 miles to a good grocery store, and it's 60 miles to the doctor's, and it's 35 miles to a place where women can get their hair fixed, and there's not anything on the highway between here and there. The big ranches come in here and took this and settled it up and made it possible for the farmers and stuff that come later, but the ranches were first in here and started settling the land.
When people look at an old set of spurs or an old saddle or something, I think they're looking at the heritage of the person that owned it. That, in other words, it's all about him, and it tells you about that person. And it's a piece of Texas, and it's a piece of ranching.
It's hard to make any money off of ranching now. But the people that are raised up in it, they try to hang on if they're turned that way.
But if you go to any small town in West Texas and visit with the people, you'll see it's alive and well. That's where you're going to see the cowboys. And all you got to do is just show up and you see they're here. They haven't gone anywhere.
It's love of the land and love of the way of life that keeps most people doing what they're doing.
We're going to leave here about daylight with a couple of loads of horses and go around a pasture that's got 10 sections in it and hold them cattle up and take them to a pen and brand the calves and come to dinner. That's my schedule for tomorrow morning.
They're all part of the heritage. They're all part of what we're about. Every one of them in a different way. You know, Boots O'Neill was more the guy on the ground. John Matthews was the ranch owner all these years. Arlen Bays was the guy working on the ranches, and then I've done a little bit of all of it. But I'd say that's our bond, that we're all part of this ranching culture.
It's still a way of life, and if people want to eat meat, well, it takes a rancher.
There's just too many memories. There's too many memories. I mean, the people, the cattle, the landscape. Those are the things that define me.
I want to work as long as I can ride a horse. And I would hope that my last day is like that I was a horseback when something happened.
They loved the life they lived. All of the broken bones and the falls and all that kind of stuff. Getting up before daylight and in after dark, it's a hard life. But they'll say they don't regret it.